understanding if it's more self-compassion you need, if it's more forgiveness, if it's building resilience. It's like, if it's things that you can do that can help you, that's what I'm trying to achieve. And that's not always obvious. I think you can you can go on a diet yourself, you can book in some therapy sessions, but I just think it's really important to look at it all together. And that's what that's what I do, that's what we do at Invigorize, and that is the message that I've been kind of spreading. So for the last 3 years we've been doing it, so we continue. We've won a couple of awards, which is quite exciting.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So
what are the awards for? Sorry.
So we were voted best health and wellness coaching programs this year, and then last year we won best bespoke health and wellness coaching provider by Global Healthcare and Pharmaceuticals, which is like a global health magazine that just basically recognizes people in the industry that are really trying to make a difference, because that is
that's great.
What myself and lots of my colleagues are trying to do. That's why we do what we do. It is about ultimately helping people live longer and happier and healthier, because I think we all deserve that.
That's great. So let's get to the topic. So the topic you're really passionate and wanted to talk about resilience. So I wanted to know, for our audience, what is resilience and how we can get over it and keep moving forward with their life.
Yeah, of course. So I think what prompted me to kind of look at this topic over the last couple of weeks is thinking back to, obviously we had the 20th year of 9/11, and then also obviously coming through a global pandemic. I mean, I know the two are not comparable, but they are two major things that have caused a lot of trauma for people. It's a huge life stressor. Wars, things that happen. We've never really I'd say we, in the UK, we haven't really experienced anything on that kind of scale in recent years. I know that there are people around the world that have a different story to that, but I think for us as a kind of country, it's looking back at things obviously that happened at 9/11, that 20-year anniversary, it was really quite significant, that how Americans specifically had overcome that and had managed to rebuild their lives really quite quickly. I went to Ground Zero 4 months after 9/11, and it was still just, it looked like a building site, but everywhere around it was, just like it had never happened. And when you see all the coverage, the videos reminding you, it's probably, there's so much more footage now available, right, which you probably haven't ever looked at. I know this is just from a personal level, just realizing this, the significant scale of how traumatizing that must have been, and then to see how people, pick themselves back up and really, just kind of had to carry on. So and that, that comes from being resilient. It's how people cope with life-changing situations and their capacity to be strong, tough, to be tough, their toughness, and how it helps us recover quickly. So I think the psychological research is really sort of identifying that actually resilience is very ordinary and not that extraordinary. But building resilience, that can take time, and obviously, having a lot of lived experience. So some people may be more resilient to others naturally. A lot of the time, though, it's probably through different kind of adverse things that have happened, and how you kind of cope with it, because we can all, bawl our eyes out, stop life completely, and say, I can't do this, even in the worst scenarios that affect us. And that, that's nothing wrong with that. You've got to give yourself time to heal if there's something that, has personally happened to you as well. That's also important. But it's then knowing that you have to kind of find that fight somewhere to continue, because there be someone else. There's some other reason to live. There's some other reason, you know, even if it's maybe you can make a difference to someone else's life, for whatever that is. So yeah, it's just about building resilience. So the first, obviously, aspect of that is you do need the intention, first of all. But then you need the understanding that there's different facets to obviously everyone's life. But I think we kind of identify that there's 4 key components, and that will maximize your capability to be more resilient. So even if you feel like, I don't know, you never handle situations really well, you struggle to cope, like you might not even recognize that about yourself, can still become more resilient. You don't need to accept that, oh, that's just me, that's who I am. So it's all about, so the 4 elements are connection, self-care, so wellness, having healthy thoughts. So that's not to say, oh, you must be positive all the time. It's identifying that if you are having negative thinking, how you can switch that to healthy thoughts. What are healthy thoughts? And then also the 4th component is like living with purpose. So the first element, so that's connection, that's building your connections. So that is about prioritizing your relationships, or perhaps making a concerted effort if it's not one-on-one relationships like your partner or a friend. You may not have a partner. You may not have seen your friends for a little while. Maybe something has happened, or they've gone abroad or something. You know, but can you find a group, you know, making, you know, concerted effort to join something else? It could be a church group, or it could be a sports club. It could be somewhere that you have something that you can connect with people, and that they will then offer you support in terms of, you know, I'm not saying they're going to be counseling you, but it's something that helps you feel connected to other people, because that's super important for all of us. And that really helps us, you know, become more resilient. A lot of the time, again, when something bad happens, the immediate thing is to isolate yourself, especially, you know, to deal with that emotional pain, because you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to be around anyone. But actually connecting yourself to compassionate people, just even making time for lunch with a friend, or, you know, going to play some sports with somebody, or that can really, really help you realize that you're not alone and that you don't need to go through it.
Just keeping yourself busy in a positive manner, like being around in the positive, like you said, going for a sport, going to the gym, communicate others, making new friends, probably. So that really works. Even
if it's just a walk with a friend, you know, just something that you can feel that you can get to if things are really sort of tough. It is going to help you. It's going to help you, you know, it may not even help you feel better at the time, but it underlyingly helps you develop that resilience.